I'm 81 years old. At this age, the house makes more noise than I do. The pipes knock.
The refrigerator hums. The wind pushes gently against the windows, like it's checking to see if I'm still here. Most mornings, I sit at the kitchen table before the sun rises, and I listen to all of it. It reminds me I'm not completely alone. But I am, mostly. There's something about getting this old. You start to hear things you didn't pay attention to before. Not just sounds in the house, memories, sentences, small moments that come back sharper than they ever felt when they were happening. Her last words still echo in my mind. Not loudly, not dramatically, just steady, like a clock you can't take off the wall. I used to think regret would feel like a punch, something obvious, something that knocked you down all at once. It doesn't. It's quieter than that. It's a chair across the table that no one sits in anymore. It's a side of the bed that stays smooth. When you're young, you think you'll have time to fix things. You think apologies can wait. You think love is understood, even if you don't say it out loud. I thought that too. I met her when I was 26. I wasn't looking for anything serious. I had just started my career, and I was proud of myself in a way young men are proud. I had a decent suit, a steady paycheck, and plans that stretched out like a highway with no end in sight. She had a laugh that made people turn their heads, not because it was loud, but because it was honest. She listened when you spoke, really listened. Back then, I didn't realize how rare that was. We married 2 years later. I told myself I was building a life for us. That's what I always said, for us. I worked long hours, took extra shifts, accepted promotions that meant travel and late nights and dinners I missed at home. She never complained much in the beginning. She'd leave a plate in the oven, sit with me while I ate, even if it was close to midnight. She would ask about my day. I would answer, but not fully. I was tired or distracted or thinking about tomorrow. There's a kind of arrogance in believing someone will always be there. Not loud arrogance, just a quiet assumption. I assumed she understood that my absence meant I cared, that the hours away were proof of love. I didn't ask her what she needed. In our 30s, life got busier. A house, bills, responsibilities. We talked about children, but it never happened. Doctors, appointments, hopeful months that ended quietly. She carried that disappointment heavier than I did. I see that now. I told her we had each other. I thought that was enough. But having someone and being with someone are not the same thing. I didn't know that then. There were small moments. They seemed small even now, but they weren't. She would start a story about her day, and I would nod while looking at the television. She would reach for my hand in the car, and I would shift gears instead. She would say, "Can we go away somewhere, just for a weekend?" And I would say, "After this project, after things settle down." Things never really settled down. In my 40s, I reached the position I had dreamed of. The title looked good on paper. People respected me. I felt important. At home, the house was quiet. She had stopped asking for weekends away, stopped telling long stories, stopped reaching for my hand as often. We were polite with each other. That's how I would describe it, polite. No big fights, no slammed doors, just two people moving around each other carefully. I told myself this is what long marriages look like, comfortable, predictable. I didn't notice the loneliness sitting across from me at dinner. Sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night and see her staring at the ceiling. I'd ask, half asleep, "You okay?" She'd say, "Yes," and I would roll over. I never asked a second time. The slow cost of neglect isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It builds quietly in the spaces where attention should have been. In our 50s, her health began to shift. Nothing dramatic at first. Fatigue, headaches, little things we brushed off as stress or age. I was still working too much. She started spending more time alone, reading, walking by herself in the evenings. I remember once she asked if I wanted to join her. I said I had emails to answer. Emails. I don't even remember what they were about. Then came the diagnosis. Cancer. The word landed in the room and stayed there. Heavy. Unmovable. I remember holding her hand in the doctor's office, feeling how thin it had become. She squeezed my fingers, and for the first time in years, I felt afraid of losing her. Treatment began. Hospitals, appointments, waiting rooms with bad coffee and softer voices. I started leaving work early, canceling meetings, sitting beside her during chemo. I told myself I was finally showing up. But there's a difference between showing up because you choose to and showing up because you're running out of time. She was brave, calmer than I was. One evening, after a long day at the hospital, we sat in the living room. The light was fading. She looked smaller in the armchair, wrapped in a blanket. She said, very softly, I used to wait for you. I didn't understand at first. For what? I asked. For you to come sit with me. For you to ask about my day. For you to notice when I was lonely. Her voice wasn't angry. That's what makes it harder to remember. It was gentle, tired. I know you loved me, she said. I just wish I had felt it more. Those were not her very last words, but they were the last clear ones, the last ones that came from a place of strength. I tried to answer. I told her I did love her, that everything I did was for us, the house, the savings, the security. She smiled a little. I didn't need more security, she said. I needed you. I had no defense for that. In the final weeks, she grew quieter, sleeping more, speaking less. I sat beside her bed and held her hand the way she had reached for mine years ago in the car. I kept thinking, I'll make this right. I'll take her on that trip. I'll listen better. I'll slow down. But time doesn't negotiate. The night she passed, the room was dim. Machines hummed softly. I leaned close because her voice was barely there. She whispered, "Don't wait so long." That was it. 3 simple words that followed me home. Don't wait so long. The house felt different with her. Bigger, colder. I walked from room to room like I was looking for something I had misplaced. Her clothes stayed in the closet for months. I would open the door just to see them, as if they proved she had existed. At the funeral, people told me she knew I loved her. They meant well. I nodded and thanked them. But love that isn't felt in time has a strange weight to it. After she was gone, I retired. The title on the office door was replaced with someone else's name. The projects moved on without me. The email stopped. All that urgency I thought mattered dissolved in a matter of weeks, and I was left with quiet. I started noticing couples at the grocery store. An old man adjusting his wife's scarf. A woman laughing at something her husband whispered. Ordinary things I had once rushed past. I had spent decades believing there would be more time, more evenings, more chances to sit down and really look at her. There weren't. Now, at 81, my world is smaller. My hands shake a little when I pour coffee. I move slower. I have entire afternoons with nothing pressing to do. And I would give anything to fill one of those afternoons with her voice telling me about something small that happened in her day. Her last words still echo in my mind. Don't wait so long. I think about all the ways we wait. We wait to say I'm sorry. We wait to take the trip. We wait to sit down and listen. We wait because we believe love is patient enough to survive our postponement. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. If you're younger than me, you probably think 81 is far away. I did too. I thought old age belonged to other men. It comes quietly. One day you realize the person you built everything for is no longer there to share it. I am grateful. Grateful for the years we did have, for our laughter, for the way she believed in me even when I didn't deserve it. But gratitude and regret can sit in the same room. I don't tell this story because I was cruel. I wasn't. I never raised my voice. I never stepped outside the marriage. I paid the bills. I provided. I just waited too long to give her the one thing she asked for: presence. If this means anything to you, let it be this. Don't assume there will be another season to fix what feels slightly off today. The small moments you brush aside are the ones that build a life. Sit down. Listen fully. Reach back when someone reaches for you. Because one day, you may be sitting at a kitchen table before sunrise, listening to a quiet house, wishing you had answered a second time when she said she was okay. Her last words still echo in my mind. And at 81, there is nothing left to do but listen.